Each year, the Decorative Concrete Council, in partnership with the American Society of Concrete Contractors, identifies causes around the country to be designated as a community project. Typically taking place at schools, veterans facilities, or other nonprofit locations, community projects target facilities where decorative concrete can be showcased to help in beautification or rehabilitation. Once designated as a community project, all the material and labor are donated and the project is completed at no charge. Since 2006, the Decorative Concrete Council, known as the DCC, has been involved with or overseen the completion of 8 community projects around the United States. Today, I'm standing next to the Ken Caryl Veterans Monument located in beautiful Ken Caryl, Colorado, which was designated as the 2015 DCC Community Project. My name is Chris Sullivan. I'm a resident of Ken Caryl, Colorado, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Chem Systems Incorporated. I was the project manager for the 2015 DCC Veterans Monument Community Project, and I am a proud member of the Decorative Concrete Council and the American Society of Concrete Contractors. In 2014, I read an article in the community newspaper that the Ken Caryl Veterans Committee was raising money to build a veterans monument in the community to pay tribute to all those who had served in the U.S. Armed Forces. Immediately, this project struck me as a perfect candidate for a community project. I brought it in front of the board, it was quickly approved, and I was able to inform the Veterans Committee that the Decorative Concrete Council would be managing the concrete flatwork portion of the monument project, which was the most expensive and involved portion of the project. The architect selected the concrete finishes to include light brown slate textured bands surrounded by darker sand exposed areas, all designed to blend with the natural limestone pedestals. The concrete design was somewhat involved, as we had to deal with multiple concrete pedestals and foundations already in place.
My name's David Snelson. I'm the designer of the Ken Caryl Veterans Monument. In 2013, the Ken Caryl Veterans Committee was intact and had been working for almost a year, and they advertised for a designer for the monument. So as an architect and a resident of the community, it was my honor to provide the design of the monument. The site selection was varied. It took almost a year to find the correct site, and after that time we found a beautiful site here adjacent the park and with a beautiful view of the mountains. And the design consisted of stone pedestals with bronze plaques that honors the veterans, and it also includes a bronze eagle. The site paving, which was done by the ASCC and the DCC, consisted of a field color of etched concrete and a colored band of stamped concrete in a darker color. The ASCC and the DCC came in and did a wonderful job of helping us put the paving together. They worked several days in inclement weather, and it was done in a timely manner. We are very appreciative of the ASCC and the DCC for providing their time, their labor, and their expertise in finishing this project.
After months of planning and coordination, a date was set to place and finish concrete in late May 2015. As luck would have it, May 2015 happened to be the wettest May in Colorado history. It rained 26 out of 31 days. This did not deter the Veterans Committee, which organized on 2 days' notice for a 30 by 100 foot tent to be placed over the entire project site. The concrete pour took place as scheduled, and the final product turned out amazing.
Hi, my name is Cork Shakota. I acted as a general contractor on the development and construction of this monument. It was a pleasure to work with the many people in the community. The impetus behind it was my serving aboard the USS Forrestal during the Vietnam War. During that period of time, we had a tremendous fire and explosion in the Gulf of Tonkin. Over 135 men died that day and 1,000 injured. At the end of 3 days of fighting the fire, a group of buddies and I got together and we decided we would never forget. And for over 30 years, I kind of had a drink and toasted them on the day of that fire. And when the opportunity came up to build this monument at Ken Caryl Ranch, I thought this was a perfect final resting spot for my commitment to those people. It was a pleasure to work with Chris Sullivan and the ASCC and the DCC in the construction of this Veterans Monument here at Ken Caryl Ranch.
When the call went out to the American Society of Concrete Contractors soliciting funds, materials, and labor for this community project, the response was overwhelming. Within a few weeks, all the materials and labor were secured, along with significant financial contributions. On the pour date, we had a group of professional volunteers on site donating their time to help place and finish concrete. The group was comprised of both ASCC members and non-members from Colorado, Missouri, Kansas, Ohio, and Washington State. Because of the generosity of all involved, the DCC raised in excess of $50,000 in material, labor, and cash, which more than covered the cost of the entire concrete flatwork portion of the Veterans Monument. A special thank you goes out to Aggregate Industries, JB Services, and Pritchard Concrete for their significant donations of time and material, without which this project could not have been completed.
My name's Alvaro Gonzalez. I served for 21 years in the United States Army and retired as a lieutenant colonel. I began my service with the 2nd and 3rd Armored Cavalry Regiments in Europe during the Cold War, where we patrolled the East German and Czech border. Afterwards, I was with the 101st Airborne Division, in which we were just hours away from parachuting into Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. I was very impressed over the years of my service with the tremendous sacrifices that not only the active duty military personnel, but their dependents and others made in order to preserve our freedom. Freedom's not free. It comes at an enormous price. And I had an opportunity over those years to see the tremendous sacrifices of all kinds, all races, religions, creeds. Everybody sacrificed for the common good. And when I found out that my next door neighbor, Cork Chakotay, was needing some help for the monument, I was thrilled that he would think that I could help in some way. My assistance was mainly in the manual labor aspect of it, and I think my greatest contribution was providing laughs to the other workers when I fell in the mud on more than one occasion trying to build the foundation. I go out of my way to drive past this monument because it reflects to me everything that is good and decent about the United States, about how many people can come together to serve a common good and to provide a reminder to all that freedom isn't free, that everybody has to sacrifice somewhat, and that these people that made these enormous sacrifices over the years during the wars and so on should not be forgotten.
The monument was officially dedicated on Veterans Day, November 7th, 2015. The bronze statue of the bald eagle, named Guardian of Freedom, was installed in 2016, and the final recognition plaque was installed in June of 2017. Working on this project became very personal for me. Both my father and brother are veterans. Working alongside veterans, I loved hearing their stories, hearing why it was so important that this monument comes together. It became a passion, and hearing their stories gave me an immense feeling of gratitude and pride that I could be part of something so big. I drive by this monument almost every day, and every day I see it, I think back to the dedicated group of professionals who made it a reality. I also think about those who have served, especially those who paid the ultimate sacrifice. On behalf of the Decorative Concrete Council, the American Society of Concrete Contractors, and everyone involved in this project, I want to thank you for your time and service. It was an honor and a privilege to be part of such an amazing project.